5, 4, 3, 2. Blessings and favor, folks. What's going on? Welcome to the first episode of Our Cinema. I'm your host, Jarrell the Griot, and on Our Cinema, we're going to talk about some of the most prominent and even some unsung classic black movies. All right, we're going to go into our favorite scenes. We're going to do some trivia, and we're going to even rate it on the For the Culture meter. But you know what? I'd rather show you than tell you. So let's get ready. You ready? I'm ready. Let's go. Tell them what it is, man.
Throughout time, we've made our way in history.
Yeah.
Creative minds showing you how it's supposed to be.
Come on.
This classic.
Sing it.
Ooh, yeah. Talk about it.
Talk about it.
You know it's all about spreading love through our songs. Our cinema. Our cinema. Our cinema. Our cinema. Our cinema. Our cinema. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, you know we're going to talk about it. Y'all better act right. You ain't seen this. Our Cinema. It's for the culture, baby. Today on Our Cinema, we are getting into the 1991 hood classic, New Jack City. Let's talk about it.
Living, just enough.
Wesley Snipes,
We will own the city.
Ice-T, Alan Payne, Chris Rock, Mario Van Peebles, Christopher Williams, Vanessa Williams, Tracy Camilla Johns, and Judd Nelson.
This is Detective Nick Peretti, big crazy jarhead, motorcycle freak, reject cop, just like you, Scotty.
On the streets, there's a fine line between wrong and right, good and bad, between those who enforce the law
It is a war out there.
and those who break it.
So see, New Jack City, it was a gangster action film directed by Mario Van Peebles. And it was an adaptation of a screenplay written by Thomas Lee Wright and Barry Cooper. Mario Van Peebles also played a detective in the movie. And he stood alongside what can be said today as a star-studded cast before their time. We had Ice-T in his premiere. We had a young Wesley Snipes, Alan Payne, Vanessa Williams, and Chris Rock. So the plot begins with Ice-T, Scotty, his character, was posed as a drug dealer about to do a transaction with Chris Rock, Pookie. Stuff went wrong. Chase ensues. Pookie gets shot in his foot. And the movie begins. You flash forward to Wesley Snipes' character, everybody knows, Nino Brown, in the car with Alan Payne, who is G Money in the movie, and his henchman, Dada Man. We'll talk about him a little bit later. But they're in the car, and G Money introduces Nino to crack cocaine. Now, everybody knows, if you know anything about gangster movies in the 80s, you know, 70s and 80s movies was all about the crack epidemic, and that hit all the major cities. So this is like a depiction of right when crack was about to hit. Nino comes up with this diabolical plan to take over the Carter, which is a housing projects in New York City, right? So Nino and the C&B, Cash Money Brothers, that's the name of their group, take over the Carter, set up shop, and start booming. I mean, they was flooding the streets. And you just saw cracks literally suck the life out of the community. So Mario Van Peebles' character, the lead detective, pulls in Scotty, Ice-T, and another rogue detective by the name of Nick Peretti, who is played by actor Judd Nelson, and they decide to come up with a plan to take down Nino Brown and the C&B. All right, so y'all remember Chris Rock, Pookie? Yeah, Pookie becomes a crackhead right after that. After he got shot and all that stuff, he becomes a crackhead. So crack hit him as well. He was a stick-up kid, then goes straight to crackhead. It's just sad. It was a sad thing. And I'm talking about played the best crackhead ever. I mean, his crackhead performance was Oscar award winning. Anyway, so Scotty finds Pookie, cleans him up, gets him all right, and ends up putting him in the plan to infiltrate the CMB organization to try to take down Nino Brown. So while Pookie's working in the drug factory in the Carter, he ends up, the pressure builds, couldn't handle it, ends up relapsing. Pookie hits the pipe, starts tripping, gets discovered, plan blows up. Big fight scene, guns, explosions, fire. They gotta go in there and try to save Pookie. He got a bomb strapped to him. It got crazy. It got crazy. So Pookie ends up dying. R.I.P. to the boy. So Scotty decides that he's going to infiltrate CMB himself to try to make a drug transaction, catch Nino in the act of doing a drug, whatever, and try to get him arrested, right? More trickery happens, backstabbing. Nino's basically becoming too big for the crew, looking down on G Money. Him and G Money get into it. He ends up killing G Money. It gets crazy. The end happens. Fight scene with Nino and Scotty. Scotty wins. Nino gets arrested. Ultimately, gets charges. Is walking out of the courtroom. Bow. Dies. Movie ends. Gives you this little weird description of like, there's a Nino in every city every major city in America. We must stop, fight. We must fight the war on crime and war on drugs and all that. Like an after school special type of vibe. Crazy. So even though this movie was a fiction, it was depicting the life and times of real crack cocaine kingpins during the late 80s and early 90s. I mean, people was really moving like that, and I think that's why this movie had so much of an impact on all that was going on at the time. And when it came out, of course, got these black stars in it. This is when black cinema was hitting its prime. So let's check out some of my favorite scenes from the movie New Jack City in a segment I like to call Better Act Right. So the first scene we're going to check out is probably the most widely quotable scene of the movie. So much so that Martin even spoofed the scene in the episode of the hit sitcom Martin where he lost his CD player. Let's check it out. Coming with the dog. The dog is there.
What happened? Huh? Don't nobody know nothing? Come on now, everybody don't speak at once. What happened? How the motherfucker get in, huh? You mean to tell me out of all your motherfuckers in here, don't nobody know jack
with
shit?
The leash.
The Dutter Man.
That's the Dutter Man right there. The one with the stutter.
Don't nobody know nothing? What up with this? Somebody got to know something was going on. See what I'm saying? Ain't that right, G-Money? Yeah, I think G-Money definitely knows something.
Here you go, right here, y'all.
Yeah, G-Money knows something. You fucked up. You fucked up big time. You're incapable of running this shit. Sit your $5 ass down before I make change.
Woo! The disrespect.
My attention. We got 300 people working for us at all times. I can't keep my eye on every single one of them.
You was taking care of business instead of...
So this is right after Pookie...
say it again. What'd you say?
Right after the infiltration.
Nothing.
That's what I thought you said. Because that's what I got right now. Nothing.
He's
$1 million
giving the
a week
scene.
business. Reduce the fucking rebels. What? Huh? Nino. Huh? It's your responsibility, huh? Nino. I never liked you anyway, pretty motherfucker.
Woo! Now watch him disrespect my man cashmere sweater that he got on, bruh. The turtleneck, bruh. Disrespect.
What's up with you, huh? This ain't like you, man. Letting some shit like who I'm laying the pipe to fuck with you. You bigger than that. Something like this can never happen again.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Moving on. I'm talking about Wesley Snipes was giving it to him in that scene, bro. Like, that is probably the most epic scene of the movie. The fight scenes are dope. The scene at the end where Scotty and Nino are getting down, that's crazy. But in terms of just pure acting, exchange, dialogue, top tier. All right. So the next scene that I'm gonna get into was, I like this scene because it was a little bit more conscious, if you will. There's a little giving a little bit of Nino's on the stand in court, and he begins to give this narrative about how he became Nino Brown right before passing the buck to the man y'all just seen him stab in the hand. But that's a whole nother situation. But check this out.
Up, Mr. Brown.
Yes, I was a member, but I was forced into this way of life. Hey, look, I've been dealing drugs ever since I was 12 years old. See, I didn't have the chances that you have, Miss Hawkins. I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth.
Miss Hawkins. Let him know.
I mean, I wanted to get out, but they threatened to kill my mother.
Who are you talking about, Mr. Brown? What they?
They. Look at it. Kareem Akbar. That's right, the educated brother from the bank. He's the real head of the CMB, the brains behind the whole thing. I told you, this thing is bigger than Nino Brown, and I gotta listen. Order. If I'm going down, I'm taking a whole lot of people with me.
Order in the court. Order in the court.
Yo, like, how you just gonna be this diabolical murderer, drug kingpin, getting caught, and be like, yo, if I'm going down, everybody going down, and get the pointing the fingers. I'm talking about, man, Nino Brown was a character, bro. Wesley Snipes played the mess out of that role, bro. He was acting right. Now, we're going to bring on a special guest, my brother, Avery De LaGhetto Collins, and he's going to talk to us about the movie a little bit, but really I'm going to get him on here so he could be our first guest for a game I like to call You Ain't Seen This Movie. Let's get it. My first guest is my guy. All right? We got he's a poet, he's an actor, he's a playwright, he's the host of Rhymez Rhythmz Open Mic, coming to you each and every fourth Friday of the month. You feel me? My good man. Let's give it up for Mr. Avery De LaGhetto Collins. What's going on, my guy?
What's good, bro? How you feeling, man?
Man, I can't complain, man. Welcome to our cinema, bro. We glad to have you here. I know I gave you a little brief bio, but you know, tell the folks a little bit about yourself, man.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, for those who don't know, my name is Avery De LaGhetto Collins. Born and raised in Baltimore. Any and everything I do is hip hop centric, hip hop based, hip hop influence, you know what I mean? And hip hop not necessarily being rap, but hip hop being storytelling for the culture, you know what I mean? And developing certain ideas I like to call hood classics, you know what I mean? Situations and stories that you only get deep inside the trenches, you feel me? So yeah, that's a little bit about me. I ain't going, I could go for a couple weeks more,
hey, man,
about me. I ain't gonna do that.
You heard it here first. The man said what he said, and he said it well. I love it. So, bruh, I brought you on here because we had some conversations, you know what I'm saying? And, New Jack City is like a thing for you. Like, this is a movie that you like, yeah, this is a thing, bruh. So tell us about your love for the film. Like, what about New Jack City? Because we know, for those of y'all who don't know, my boy Avery Collins does what they call hip-hop theater. You feel me? I know when most people think hip-hop theater, they think like Carmen, like the hip-hopper with Beyonce, with Kai Pfeiffer. But it's so, but even new age today, you can think about like Hamilton. Like, that's the range of how hip hop theater could go. So like, what about New Jack City connects with you so much, bro?
Man, you know, New Jack City is crazy because I seen it when I was like younger, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I didn't understand it. And I know, you know, it was probably about 10 years ago, I started rewatching a bunch of classics as an adult to really understand, you know, as an adult what these situations look like, how I felt about certain things that I might have just skimmed over. So my wife actually, she made me watch it again because she said something from the movie that I ain't pick up on because it was probably like 15 years.
Bar, bro.
You know what I mean? Yeah, she came in on me on it. So I was like, I'm watching, and I'm like, yo, this movie. So first off, man, the connection with the movie is just like anybody, you know, I was thinking a lot about this, especially because New Jack City is about a fictional person, you know what I mean? But it relates to like American Gangster. Right. And it's like every I'm gonna say for right now, I'm gonna say every black dude in the 80s and 90s wanted to be like Nino Brown, wanted to be like Frank Lucas, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And we was even thinking about how today it's like, you know, like drug dealers, you're not making Nino Brown type money.
Oh yeah,
nowadays.
no, nobody's
you know what I mean?
Like that. Nobody's eating like that. They was taking over
because
they was men of industry, bro. Like they was taking over like CEO type vibes. And people always talk about like, you know, black crime is the only one that gets like exploited and not viewed in the same regard as like the mafia or like, you know, Russian mobs and like all that stuff. Like they get viewed as like, you know, of course, Vice. They're on the bad side. They're doing bad stuff, but it's like a cooler claim to it. But when you talk about like the gangsters of the black community, they always make us look like lesser than, like we, you know, infighting and all this other stuff. But it's like, bruh, the Nino Browns, like you said, and Frank Lucas, Nino Brown was a depiction, a characterization. Frank Lucas was a real man. I seen like this little, it was like a video, I think it was on Facebook, where they showed like the net worths or like the gross profit of all of the biggest, you know, drug lords. And we're in the bottom of the bottom in terms of how much we done made off drugs, bro.
Right. I mean, because you got to think about it. You know what I mean? It was, you know, crack wasn't that much. Which is why they got so much money. Sure, they sold to everybody and their mother, literally. But it was still only like $5. You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, them, you know, like Scarface and them, they was doing multi-million-dollar deals. You know what I mean? So it's like
on the reg though, like
that's that was every other day. You know, so yeah, you know, it made me think a lot about how the drug game has changed today. Yeah. You know what I mean? And people today aspiring to be like that, but they'll never get there because there's too many people doing it. You know what I mean?
And there ain't no rules.
Nino held that city down.
It's too many chiefs, not enough Indians, bruh.
Right.
Too many chiefs. Everybody wanna be the plug. Everybody wanna be another movie. We're gonna do that one in the future. But El Plaga from State Poverty 2. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna talk about that later. But so of the characters, you know what I'm saying, do you feel like you have a connection with any of them? Do you feel like one character, like not necessarily like who they were or like, you know, what they did in the movies necessarily, but more like, you know, like their character, like their personality? You feel like any of them resonated with you? Did you connect with any of the characters in particular?
This might be a little too deep, you know what I mean? Might be a little too deep for the public.
Hey man, just give it to him, bro. It's first one. Set the bar. Set the bar.
Not the entirety of the character, because obviously Pookie was a very wild dude. But specifically when he relapsed, I felt the connection there, because I feel like every day is a constant struggle to do the right thing and do what you tell yourself you want to do and have a purpose, you know what I mean? But we have those moments, you know what I mean? I'm sure everybody felt that moment. It was, aside from the crack, you know what I mean? You got to take the crack out the equation. But it's like, you know what I mean? That moment of that relapse, especially coming right after when everybody put all that pressure on.
Facts.
because he was cool. He wasn't even thinking about that when he went in. But it's like once that pressure came from, you know, all the with the cops telling him, you know, you shouldn't even be out here, you a crackhead and all that, and then getting the job, and then he just started looking at that pipe. I don't know. Man. I felt that same.
And I feel like also his I would say his story arc I could agree with, because you know you are, you know, doing crime, grimy crime. Like he was like a hold on, let me make sure that's not one of the
Oh, yeah,
anyway,
I got you.
that's one of the questions. But he out here doing grimy work, you know what I'm saying? Gets shot, goes on to become a crackhead, hits the bottom, and even Nino, when they met him, when they did the little turkey giveaway and stuff, and saw him again, he's like, "Hey, bro, what happened to you, bro? Like in high school, he was the man, homie. Like, what happened? Like." But then he goes to rehab, gets out, and then wants to do good.
And then wants
as
to
you
use
said,
what he
hits
knows.
that pitfall, and that pitfall pushes us to, like, I guess pushes him to the point of losing his life. Like, So when you look at life, it's like, dang, it's almost like once God teach you a lesson and you show that you learned a lesson, you're responsible for the lesson. You feel me?
Right.
Because when he was a crackhead the first time, he was out there living his best crackhead life.
Right, exactly. Before that,
he got his life together, and then that backslide forced him to face them demons, and that boy lost. Like that show was sad, but reality though, that reality. Yeah, man. All right, so real quick before we get into this game, bro. Last question. What is your favorite scene in the movie? Your
boy, you know I'm torn. Scene. I'm torn between only cause, bro, I swear, bro, I don't know what it is about Nino. That man is funny. I'm torn between 2 scenes. I can throw that third one out. I'm torn between the sit your $5 ass down before I make change scene.
Absolutely.
I swear, bro. Cause my thing is with that whole scene is like, Nino, you was out doing what you was doing, and you gonna really try to come back and remind, and he did it. He did it very successfully. He reminded everybody who was in charge.
Let him know.
But
that's funny. Hey, bro, man, you gotta go back. You gotta go back and watch when we air, because that definitely was one of my act right scenes from the last segment, bro. I definitely did. I had to do that one. Like, that's a classic line, bro, and it was so time. It was I can't even believe that that was like a written line. I feel like he had to come off top with that jump.
Exactly.
He came off top of that, bro. I
swear, when he started jump roping with the damn the leash for the dog, I was like, this man about to lose his shit, bro.
That is so
it's between that one.
All right.
It's between the cancel that bitch scene when he pulled the stuff all on his ex. Well, I guess his current. Which that one is just, you know, anytime he was just like a wild crack, I was like, wow. The third scene though was the end when he threw Kareem Akbar in that joint when he in court. I was like, this man about to pull a Frank.
Bruh.
Selling everybody else. So that's, man, I don't know.
And this
anything with Nino in it.
Facts. Because from a acting perspective, bro, like his depiction of Nino Brown, like Wesley Snipes, because I'm trying to figure out which. This is probably like his first major role, if I'm not mistaken. I know Blade came out. This is 91.
91.
I'm gonna have to do the research on that. Like, this is
if you think about any of his big roles, even if it's not his first role, it's his first big role. Because if you think about any of the big ones, Money Train was way later. You know, Blade and all them was way later.
Undisputed.
I think so.
That joint was crazy.
That was later too.
Yeah.
This probably. I mean, well, White Man Can't Jump could have been real close.
That was close too. I'm trying to think when that came out.
No, actually, I think that might have been 95. If I'm not
that was
mistaken.
a little bit later. I think this was.
This was it.
Yeah,
this was it. That's where they learned Messy Snipes.
So basically, any of the scenes where Nino was wilding, that's your favorite scene.
I mean, cause yeah, if you think about it like this, it's like whenever the antagonist is not like in this sense, but attractive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like if you can see yourself wanting to be that person or laughing at what that person doing, and they the bad guy. Think about Batman and Joker. It's like
you giving
Joker,
like Denzel in Training Day, like
exactly,
Lonzo was a cool dude, like everybody wanted to be, even though he was the technically the villain or the antagonist of the movie. His personality was appealing. I feel that.
You know what I mean? He was wrong. He was with G Money Girl, yet he told him to sit his $5 ass down. So it's like, we supposed to be against him, but bro, that was a great line. You know what I mean?
He's too vicious for words, bro.
Exactly.
All right, bro. So this is why you was actually here. This is why I actually brung you on today. We about to play a game I like to call You Ain't Seen This Movie. How the game goes is you got 4 seconds. It kind of goes similar to Fast Money on Family Feud. You got 4 questions, 25 seconds. And if you don't get at least 3, then as far as I'm concerned, you ain't seen this movie. You got the rules, bro?
Cool. Yes, sir.
Right.
We ready.
You ready to get it going? 25 seconds on the clock. Ready? What was the CMB member that was shot at the wedding?
Keisha.
What was Nino Brown's bodyguard always getting teased for?
Stutter.
What was Pookie's first occupation?
Drug dealer.
Where was the CMB's organization housed?
The Carter Apartments.
The
Carter. We taking over.
I'm gonna give you that. It stopped right when you was about to give your answer. I'm gonna give you that because I was reading the question. I'm gonna give you that. All right. So number 1, you said Keisha. Number 1, you said Keisha. Number 2, you said stutter. Number 3, you said drug dealer. And then number 4, you said Carter Apartments. Let's see if Avery De LaGhetto Collins has seen this movie. Survey says you got 3 out of 4 correct. The only question you got incorrect was Pookie's first occupation. He actually was a stick-up kid. He wasn't a drug dealer.
Stick up, man. Corner boy, stick up kid. They the same thing.
He was a stick-up kid. He was a stick-up kid. But you got everything else right. Keisha came through. She had the chopper on her, slid off the floor, and just was like, and just got lit up by the Italians.
Yeah.
Of course,
she ran down the steps.
Hey, so check this out. Nino's bodyguard name was Da Man. They didn't give this man a real name in the movie. That's crazy because he stuttered all the time, and Alan Payne used to cook him like, shut your dumb ass up before you have an aneurysm. Kept going to my man. And of course, everybody, if you didn't know the answer to number 4, I always put an easy question at the end because it's the last one. You got to get it real quick. If you ain't know that the Carter was the place where they took over and was running the CMB drug organization, then I don't know. You ain't seen this movie. But according to our survey, our questions, my man Avery De LaGhetto Collins is a viewer of New Jack City. You seen this movie, bro. For sure. So go ahead, give your plugs, give your shout outs, give all your good stuff, man.
Yeah. Nah, definitely, man. Y'all can follow me on Instagram at AC_rap lyricist. Definitely go to the dictionary to spell that word. You can also check out our Rhymez Rhythmz Open Mic that we do every 4th Friday at Culture Coffee 2. That's out by Fort Totten if you're from DC. You feel me? Our next one is actually next week. That's next Friday, April 22nd. So definitely come check us out. You can follow us on Instagram at Rhythm Visions or at Rhymes with a Z _Rhythms with a Z for all the details on that. Yeah, man, I love y'all, man. Keep up with all the, with all the work that we got going out because we got a lot of stuff shooting out in the world, man. Need somebody to catch it. You feel me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Also, shout out your boy because he got the official Passion, Purpose, Prosperity. He got that equation merch on. We all twinning today. That's my brother, man. He always showing love and supporting. So of course I had to get him on the show and make sure, you know what I'm saying, he showed love as the first guest on our cinema, man. Appreciate you so much, my brother. You know what I mean?
Of course, man.
All right,
Appreciate the opportunity, brother.
Hey, all day, bro, all day. You're going to have to come back again. We're going to have to figure out another movie that we can get you on for, bro. For sure.
Yeah, definitely. I seen a lot of them.
Yes, sir.
Don't pull my black card.
All right, y'all. Right after this, we coming back with our For the Culture segment. So, yeah, y'all already know what it is. Jarrell the Grill, let's get it. All right, folks, we've come to our last segment, a segment I like to call For the Culture. Now, in this segment, we're going to rate New Jack City on the Griot's Culture Meter. So what this is basically talking about why is this movie so impactful. We're going to give it a rating, and I'm going to tell you why I'm going to give it that particular rating. All right? Now, in the For the Culture segment, we are going to rate the movie on a scale from 0 to 100%, whether it's for the culture or not. So if it gets a low ranking, like under a 50, you know what I'm saying, we can pretty much assume that it wasn't making no noise, that nobody cared, that it wasn't really impactful. The higher the score on the meter, the more impactful, the more for the culture that the movie is. So I'm going to rate the movie. We're going to see what it says on the scale. And then I'm going to give you my reasons why I felt like it was that particular rating. All right, y'all ready? So let's see. On the Griot's For the Culture Meter, New Jack City ranks, I'm going to give it an 87% on For the Culture Meter. And let me tell you why. First of all, as I said earlier in the show, black cast, black director, doing their thing, putting it down. Early 90s, that's like prime time. That's like black excellence at its finest during that time frame. So for the fact that it had an all-black cast, major hit movie, that's culture worthy, right? That's impactful. Secondly, the scheme. Like, they always downplaying our criminals. We uplift and we talk about how awesome the mafia is. Everybody wants to be an Italian mob. They show, even now on what's the joint? Power Force, they got the Russian mob or the Irish mob or whatever. Like, everybody gangsters of all the other nationalities, of other ethnicities and other groups, they get acclaim, they get reverence and infamy. You know what I'm saying? But they always looking down on our criminals. Nino Brown was out here making big moves. This man took over a government housing project, had it going in and out, had the technology way before its time. They had my man Alan Payne asked Pookie, could he program Pascal? Like, they was before their time, you know what I'm saying? Big things. They was multi-million-dollar industry, you know what I'm saying? So, hey, give it up to that. Next, the message at the end. As I said, it ended kind of like a after-school special. They had it. It's a Nino Brown in every black city in America or every major city in America, and we must fight and work together to stop the war on drugs. And of course, it's a whole bunch of conspiracies around crack cocaine and how it got in the community. We ain't gonna get into all that today, but just the fact that it mentioned it during that time, it was trying to give a positive message at the end of a super dope cinematic display of excellence, if you will. So I'm gonna put that into the cards for the reason why I'm rating it so high on the culture meter as well. And then last but not least, the fact that it was a depiction, an artistic depiction of what real life was looking like. Drugs was hitting major cities like nobody's business. As I said, it was sucking the life out of so many black cities in America. It was crazy. It was so much money coming in, but lives was being destroyed. And I feel like this was a very great cinematic depiction of what was happening in the real world during that time when crack hit the streets. All right. So that's all we got for today, man. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to Artful Conductor TV, man. We're going to be having more episodes dropping. Trying to hit y'all over the head with one a week. So just stay tuned. And we'll be back with another black cinematic experience on our cinema. I'm your host, Jarrell the Griot. Blessings and favor.
Love through our soul.